With the F1 season almost ending, we have all the teams putting out whatever they have left in the tank. The same is the case for Aston Martin, who started the season unimpressively but gradually rose. So sit back as we tell you about the aggressive development that went on in the team, and also give you an update on their points race with Alfa Romeo. First up, Aston Martin credits aggressive development to recent points surge. Tom McCullough, in charge of the Aston Martin Formula One team's performance, says that aggressive development and good reliability have been the keys to the team's recent run of points. Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll came in 6th and 8th in Singapore. The German driver then came in 6th in Japan. McCullough says it wasn't a fluke that the team was in the right spot to win big points when some of the regular frontrunners fell. We've been working hard and fast since the beginning of the year, he told motorsport.com. He also said that they'd been laying little things in their car and they'd found success when those little things worked. At the same time, Aston Martin has been very reliable, and you can always find it racing on the track. McCullough said your only goal should be to send your driver in best care possible, whether you're trying to get P10 or just a few more points. Moving on, what else did the performance director say? At first, Aston Martin was having trouble, but now they're getting the hang of things. Their drivers have also been good, as they did well in the 2 races held in the rain. The team moved ahead of Haas and AlphaTauri in the Constructors' Championship after the 2 Asian races. They are now only 7 points behind 6th place Alfa Romeo. Tom McCullough said when talking about the competition, Tom McCullough said that the 2 races in Singapore and Japan gave them good points and put them ahead of Haas, AlphaTauri, and even Alfa Romeo. Even though technical director Dan Fallows and the other new R&D hires have focused mostly on 2023, McCullough says that they also have affected this season's AMR 22. He said they'd added a few new people to their team and made a big difference in this year's car. That's a good start for the car of next year too. Everyone on the team feels good about it because the rule change for the 2022 car was huge, and it was a big challenge for so many people at so many levels in the whole team. And the fact that they are on track to start scoring points and showing signs of improvement since the beginning of the year is very satisfying for everyone. Moreover, the team is optimistic about next year's car. The Silverstone team is making up for a bad start to the year when it went in the wrong direction with its AMR 22, and then changed direction after the Spanish Grand Prix. Even though it still looks like it will finish 9th in the Constructors' Championship this year, it has made enough progress behind the scenes to be confident it will make good steps in 2023. The team showed how far it wanted to go by signing Alonso for next season. After Sebastian Vettel said he was retiring at the Hungarian Grand Prix, it didn't take long for the team to sign the Spaniard away from Alpine. Tom McCullough, who's in charge of Aston Martin's performance, said, "I think the team has always been very quick. The race team is small and there are only a few key people who make the decisions. It's not a big company with a lot of red tape." McCullough thinks that the team didn't wait to make a much-needed concept change in the middle of the season, showing that the team can make decisions and get things done. The owner of Aston Martin, Lawrence Stroll, is making it bigger, but McCullough thinks it can get bigger without losing its ability to make decisions. Let's also look at Aston Martin F1 boss says the team must stay realistic in their chase of points. Mike Crack, who's in charge of Aston Martin's Formula One team, says the team needs to stay realistic, even though they cut the points gap with Alfa Romeo after the Singapore and Japan races. In Japan, Vettel had a great race and finished 6th. He beat Fernando Alonso in a fight on the last lap, which moved the team closer to Alfa Romeo in the battle between teams. The gap to the 6th-placed Swiss team in just 2 races has gone from 27 points to 7 points. Crack agreed that the team's recent wins had given them more confidence, but he insisted they must keep up their game in every way. He said that having confidence wasn't enough, and that you also need a fast car. He also said that they know the car's location and have taken steps over the past few years to get to a good place. The team boss said, "We need to be realistic." He also said that if the team does well in the remaining races, it can get the spot. But there's always the chance that someone else will do a better job. Furthermore, he also talked about the Vettel incident at Suzuka. At Suzuka, Vettel went to the back of the pack after he and Alonso collided on the first lap. The key to his move up the order was his decision to pit for new tires as soon as the green flag flew when the race resumed. Nicholas Latifi was the only driver to make that call, and Vettel needed to get out of the pits before Williams, which finished 9th. We'd talked about it, and we had time to talk about how we were going to go about it," Crack said of the plan. He said that in the end, it was up to the driver to decide what to do because they didn't know how the track was in person. So the pit for inters and being able to get out in front of Latifi were two of the most important things that helped him pass Alonso. Crack is still optimistic about the rest of the season. Even though the remaining venues are very different from those where the team has done well this year, the boss, on the other hand, seems sure about how the team's season will end. But the recent cost cap problem must have made him feel bad. Next, Aston Martin's cost cap breach penalty. Aston Martin was fined $450,000 because its 2021 Formula One budget cap submission incorrectly excluded and/or changed costs in 12 places. The FIA and Aston Martin agreement is called an accepted breach agreement. It says what the punishment will be. A procedural breach means that Aston Martin made a mistake in how it ran its business. The FIA says that Aston Martin did not send the correct paperwork for the year. Williams and Red Bull also broke the rules and spent too much money, which is something Aston Martin hasn't done. Instead, it broke the law because the cost cap administration found that Aston Martin had 12 costs that were not accounted for correctly. In addition to the $450,000 fine, Aston Martin must pay the costs incurred by the cost cap administration in making the ABA. The fine for Aston Martin is much bigger than the fine of $25,000 Williams had to pay earlier this year for breaking a rule. Aston Martin admitted that it broke the rules and had said for a long time that it was sorry for the mistake, which it blamed on how complicated the new financial rules were. Lastly, we look at where the team stands. After a tough qualifying season on Saturday, Sebastian and Lance will start the Mexico City Grand Prix near the end of the grid. In Free Practice 3, the team added 42 laps for the weekend. Sebastian and Lance then went into a tough qualifying session. In the early stages of FP3, Sebastian focused on the medium tire compound for the first time this weekend and set the best time of 1.21.306. Near the end of the session, he switched to the soft tires. This helped him get a better time of 1.20.986, which put him in 19th place. In the end, though, he finished 17th and Sebastian did not move on to Q2. Lance's best time in FP3 was 1.21.413, which he did in the first half of the session as he got used to the middle compound of tires. At the end of the session, he switched to the new soft tires and improved his time to 1.20.477, which was good enough for the 16th fastest. Lance started Q1 with 2 flying laps on a new set of soft tires. On his first try, he ran a time of 1.21.649, then he got better and got 1.20.761. He returned to the pits to get a new soft set of tires so he could do one last fast lap at the end. He beat his personal bests in the first and second sectors and ran a 1.20.520, but does only put him in 18th place. That's a wrap for this video. Where do you think the team will finish this season? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.